Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Councillor Daniel Mora Joguna, reporting from my office here in Arby, Stockholm, Sweden. Well, I've listened the President of Kenya, His Excellency Samuel Arap Ruto, on what I'm going to call Nairobi takeover. For him, he's called it collaboration between the national government and the county government of Nairobi, which is the capital city of Kenya. One, the takeover is well drafted, and it is where they are going to make money, especially for campaigns for his, according to me, for his areas. It is in lightening, sewerage, housing, roads, etc. As I watched live when the president was talking, I could read a mischief, especially when it comes to the low-class earners and the housing projects that the government is building. If the president was genuine in making Nairobi better, especially in those informal settlements, he could have thought of the theory of Robin Hoods. What is the theory of Robin Hoods? Robin Hoods tries to equalize or try to remedy the gap between the poor and the rich in different stages. Those who have money pay for the less fortunate. And if the president is genuine enough, he could have given precedence over those who have greater resources. Robin Hood fundamental ethic concept, which seems to be take from the wealth and give to the poor, is a way of bringing those who are less fortunate to a betterment, not to the same level of the rich, but at least to come out of that poverty. And that is what they could have done in this housing. They could have taken a good data if it's a serious government. A serious government could have right now have taken the data of those who lives in those slums. Mukuru Kwajenga, he mentioned them, Kayafa, Madare, all over those informal settlements. There is these houses, they claim that they are built in this city. If they are serious about taking over Nairobi and making it better, those houses that have already been built and are finished, they could take these people there. I live in a poor cosmopolitan municipality here in Sweden as a member of a county assembly. There we give the government, in fact, it's the central government that came with those social security, where we get more money, the municipalities that are a bit poor, from the central government and from the richer municipalities. Then we are made to tax more our own citizens here in the municipality that I stay and I read called Bushika municipality. There are free houses you give to the poor. You take data, and there are those who work with in the offices of those security offices, social services. They take your income. They look, because everybody here is documented. They make sure that you are poor, and if you are really poor, you get a free house. Depending on the it is big depending on the family, how big the family is. If you are single, you get a single house. If you got a family, you get a bigger apartment depending on the size of the family. Then they make sure that they pay for you, whereas they make sure that they are going to educate you if you are not educated, or if you can't do anything, they find you something to do, so that in the future, after some years, you can take over, pay your rent. And that is the way to remove poverty and to bring people into a formal housing. Mr. President, I heard you ask if there are people who got better ideas. We are here. We are experts on that. We can do that. In fact, we are doing for Wazungus here, what we could be doing for our fellow citizens in Kenya. So you know this because you have traveled. You come to these countries. You know it's in America, it's in Europe, that those poor or less fortunate in the society are being helped. They're disabled. They shouldn't be taken care of. And these ideas, we have them. It's only that you don't consult. The embassy here doesn't want to hear from us. Right now, they are having tourist visit here about tourism and how they are going to sell Kenya. They know us. I register. Then they ask me to call because they want to know the kind of business I'm doing. Where I'm a known character. Those questions, in fact, I said I can't go, and I was free. Because of those people that you said here to represent you are just idlers. They don't know what they are doing. So, Mr. President, the resources are here, free. And we got experience, first-hand experience here in Europe. So don't say that there are loopholes on the resources, on the brains. We are here being utilized by the Europeans. The elderly, we could organize even for the elderly there. So many people here and have traveled to America, in the Europe. There are so many Kenyans who are working on those, giving those services. But in Kenya, right now, especially when you are reading that, I know somebody from Rift Valley, Northeastern, Nairobi, or any other part of the country, Mombasa included, they were clapping, saying, Kameiva, the deal is done. It's because the mentality of the Kenyans, especially those who are in leadership, is about acquiring wealth, not to help the less fortunate. But it's another way of, we can change things. We should not be doing things the way they are being done. That you go to politics because you want to get rich or to enrich yourself and to steal. Now we hear politicians, you included, have acquired so much health. Well, how many years do you think that you are going to live in this world? And even if your children are going to take over, how are going to be eating and thinking that it's my father who stole this when he was in government? Well, let us look in the bigger picture. As you say that sometimes it's good to think like a Kenyan, not to think about individual. It's high time you start yourself. You are number one. Look yourself in the mirror. The way you say that the Kenyans should look themselves in their mirror before they criticize. Look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, I, William Samoei Ruto, how much have I acquired from the time I took over from Uhuru Kenyatta? We are not saying the other presidents were good either. They should also do the same. And those who are going to take over, think also yourselves, look yourself in the mirror. Because a country cannot be run the way it is done in Kenya, where you go to politics to make money. Even the poor can't start in elections because they can't afford. I heard that to be an MP, you have to have so much millions. To be a president, you have to be a billionaire. What country are we going to leave behind? I pity Kenyans, me included. Because right now you're talking about roads. You're talking about housing. You're talking about sewerage. You're talking about writing in Nairobi. There are those who without electricity and the like. And you are sitting with the governor of Nairobi there. And you are not ashamed to ask him, well, there are a budget that you do for this. Where does that money go? In fact, Sakaja should be in jail. You should not be sitting there with a thief who I hear is building so many buildings there in in Kamakis. The president, you have to start with you. You have to look around your people there, whom you sat with in the State House today, and ask yourself, am I serious in what I'm doing? Am I serious in my presidency? Right now, it came up because Akuya, who intended to be a governor of Nairobi, talked about these things last week. And that is why you are hurrying up to counter him. I'm asking myself, there is a way of doing things. In fact, what you are doing right now, you are saying it has to be done. You have to build an airport. You have to. Then you contradict yourself by saying there are going to be this public engagement. And already you are telling Sakaja tomorrow, we are going to go to the Nairobi River and the sites to see whether the work has started. Well, we are not that stupid as Kenyans. You talk, in fact, the speech writer sometimes should ask you what you want you to read. Because you read something, then you interpret differently. We are here. We got brains, and we can make that Nairobi better, giving ideas on how things are done here, especially in the dust, how to recycle that sheet so that it can be turned to electricity and others into something that that can be done better, especially the plastics and the likes. I saw the governor of Unigishu some years ago, Mandago, was here. His deputy was here also in Stockholm. He was in a place called Helsingborg or the like municipality. And they know. So it's not that you don't know. It's so that you know what you have seen. The bank, this the thing that you call bank marking or whatever you call it. You just come just to see and to eat good food in the Europe and in the America. Then you go and do nothing. Sakaja has failed. Raila himself saved him with you. So instead of kicking him, you are looking for a Matagi who is doing some good job, trying to make him not work. Then you come here and tell us these stories. Well, I pity my country. The good talk you talk, then you do the opposite. Surely. Who bewitched us? Kenyan readers. Think about it. And if you want some help, we are here. We are ready to help. I'm Councillor Dani Mora Juguna, reporting from Stockholm, Sweden. Thank you.